Sony, a household name, but what do they even do now? A decade ago, you couldn't pass by a Walmart, Best Buy, or Costco without seeing laptops with this logo on them. Now, that logo is nowhere to be found. What made them so good to begin with? And are they headed for continued success? Or are they going to fail along the way? The answers to those questions and so many more here at Techonomics. Hey guys, it's Carlos, always trying to provide you with insight on technology and how it's affecting you and the world at large. What makes Sony so particularly interesting is the sheer quantity of different types of products that they provide. But before we understand where they're going, we have to understand where they came from and get some context. Sony was officially started in 1946 by Ibuka Masaru and Morita Akio under the name Tokyo Telecommunications Engineering Corporation. Ibuka, known for his engineering acumen and Morita's expertise in business and marketing, led to 40 years of, quote, the business history's most productive and intriguing relationships. Envisioning the company to be international in scale, the name was later changed to Sony Corporation in 1958, deriving Sony from sonus, which was the Latin word for sound. They started making money by repairing radios and some other electronic equipment. But after some not so successful original products like a rice cooker and a tape recorder, Ibuka flew to the United States. In this trip, he ended up landing a licensing agreement with Western Electric Company, a subsidiary of at&t, for their transistor technology. This deal led to the TR-63, a small, inexpensive radio that ended up becoming extremely successful and put Sony on the map at an international scale, which prompted the aforementioned name change. This growth continued well into the 80s, especially in the United States, with a variety of different products like video cameras or the Walkman. Zoomers, it's like an iPod, but not as cool. But that's also when things started to change for Sony. A major investment into the entertainment industry from buying Columbia Pictures and CBS led to a major controversy because of a strong nationalistic movement in Japan at the time. Then, in the early 90s, things really took a turn for the worse, with a big recession in Japan along with both founders having strokes and retiring. Now that we know where Sony came from, let's talk about what made Sony what we think of them today. Sony has had a variety of different notable and successful products, but the first one that comes to mind to me is PlayStation. The PlayStation is Sony's gaming console. It was originally developed in partnership with Nintendo, but after a falling out, they ended up releasing the first PlayStation 1 in 1994. After some mild success, they ended up releasing the PlayStation 2 in the year 2000. The PlayStation 2 was extremely successful. So successful, in fact, that it ended up becoming the most sold console of all time. After that, PlayStation started to dabble in some interesting new ideas, like a portable console in the PSP, or a VR headset that worked alongside your PlayStation 4. All along the way, their main line of consoles continued to be released, always being top performers in the market. In the last section, I mentioned Sony making video cameras in the 80s. Funnily enough, cameras is one of the major places where Sony has continued to shine all throughout these years. Right now, they have the second highest camera global market share, controlling roughly 20% of the market. They are world-renowned for their remarkable autofocus and facial recognition technology, and they're industry leaders at releasing mirrorless cameras and mirrorless camera technology. I mean, I'm using a Sony mirrorless camera right now. And on top of that, Sony controls roughly 46% of the smartphone camera sensor business, meaning that more than likely, the smartphone that you have right now has a camera sensor on it made by Sony. This is all to say, Sony dominates with cameras. They have for decades, and if everything stays the same, they will continue to do so going forward. Another area where Sony has continued to excel is entertainment, which is really great considering that they really wanted to get into that business back in the 80s. Specifically, their movie production has been doing excellent. Sony is now well known for making major blockbusters in a variety of different franchises. They've brought Spider-Man to the big screen in not one, but 7 different movies, plus some spin-offs with similar characters. They've reinvigorated the James Bond franchise and brought it to the 21st century. Sony even has something for little kids in their Hotel Transylvania animated movies, and they have a wide variety of other movies to fill in the gaps. They are now a major studio, and while they're obviously not the size of someone like Disney, they can be proud of releasing consistent hits that make their money back and then some. To be clear, this is only the tip of the iceberg. They made laptops up until 2014. They've been making televisions for decades, which they're damn good at. Sony is a name synonymous with technology. The question is, where are they going to go from here? Well, it might seem a little on the nose, but Sony is jumping into the semiconductor space. Right now, in 2021, there is a major semiconductor shortage. In the consumer space, this is most notable by the inability to buy graphics cards or CPUs. But a place not as often talked about is how this is affecting the automotive industry. The lack of chips means manufacturers can't make enough cars, which as of right now has resulted in an increase in used car prices up to 10%. So because of this shortage, and I'm sure because of the popularization of electric vehicles, Sony is focusing their semiconductor production on the automotive industry. Specifically, they're building SP80 depth sensors, which doubles as processors for the data output of LiDAR, a technology that has been widely adopted for the use in self-driving cars. That said, Sony knows this is a new space for them, so they are continuing to invest on developing new sensors for cameras and chips for image processing, an industry in which they already excel. Another new space which Sony wants to tackle is the auto industry. And no, I don't mean more sensors. I mean, Sony actually wants to build a car. The Vision S started off as a prototype to show off a bunch of cool Sony products. The idea being, don't just take one product at face value like a speaker or a display. Get the entire Sony experience, which is top class. By the end of it, they had an electric car that they were so proud of that now they want to sell it. Unfortunately, there's no set release date yet, but considering what Sony's been able to accomplish, I'm sure it's only a matter of time until we get one. Sony is an old-fashioned tech company. They're not big show-offs like Google or Apple. They like making good, simple technology that can actually better people's lives. Sony continues to innovate, but their profit margins aren't that huge because they want to make sure that people can actually afford their products. Frankly, we need more tech companies like Sony. Obviously, they're going to be profit-driven and they're not going to be completely selfless, but their business model is much more conservative, and their goal is to make mass market products that can be widely adopted instead of focusing on the wealthiest customers that can buy the most expensive stuff. Thanks guys for watching another video. Please hit that like button if you want to see more videos like this one. It really does help. Also, comment down below with your thoughts on Sony or what other companies have a more modest business model like they do. Who knows, I might even make a video on them next. Again, this is Carlos from Techonomics, over and out.